Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. We're bringing back those vibes, those island vibes, those Long Island, those Strong Island vibes. Your boy Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, the one and only, the kid, or in Spanish, El Nino. So listen, we are here, Long Island Changemakers. It's been a bit since I've been in the studio, so I'm fired up to be here. A little bit of the Vanguard Benefits baseball. You see what I'm saying? Hall of Fame. We spent the week out there visiting with Vanguard Benefits. We inducted the first 4 Hall of Famers, but you know what? I got to put the jersey on the side for a second because I always say this. It's not a requirement that my guests bring me gifts, but when you do give me a gift, I am happy to rock that gift right here. Shout out to Grit and Grace Design Studio. What's up, kid? See, I knew you were gonna have a little swag on. Now I need a tan jacket. That's all I need.
Oh my gosh, Tommy, you're right.
Isn't that hysterical?
Best, man.
So we'll put the jersey over here for now. Told you I had a surprise for you.
Great surprise.
Love it, love it, love it. Melissa Ingino, Grit and Grace. We met because I became friendly with your dad only within the last 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Went out to Woodward, to the Woodward School down in Freeport. He and I became friendly. And he invites me to a Freeport Chamber of Commerce event. And I said, all right, cool, you know, I'll come through. And then he says, like, Melissa from, this is like the invitation, it says Melissa from the Grit and Grace Design Studio is going to be speaking. So I like check out this Melissa person, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't click. And your last name is probably on the website, right? It doesn't click, right? Because of whatever, because I got a lot going on. I come through, there's this young woman, set up, camera going, the whole thing. And then Greg Ingino introduces this woman as Melissa Ingino. I go, like screech, and I go, oh, now I get it. Yep. And it was so cool watching you work the room because, you know, I've learned a lot, honestly. I mean, I've bought lavalier mics I've sold like 5 pairs of those mics.
You should open up an Amazon storefront.
You know what, you're not kidding. You're not kidding.
Make some money off it.
I'm like, dude, these are primo. They're like $70. Everywhere I go now, we've been doing a lot of stuff for Vanguard Benefits for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know? So everywhere I go, I got my labs with me. I got a tripod with me. And this is stuff that in the past I would have just been like, I'll take a couple shots, a couple selfies. I'm telling you, you have been like a mentor, but like just an advisor, you know, because like even when I spoke one night, a couple times, I spoke at the Rotary Club one night. And I was like, dude, really? Should I set up my tripod? And you were like, are you kidding me? Like, you should do it. And then like another time I ran a networking thing for the Bayside Business Association, same thing. I used to get in my own head, and I still do on other things, but I push other people out of the comfort zone constantly. And I'll tell you the truth, you've done that to me, because I took the tripod, I set it up, and I ran a whole networking session for like 20 minutes at Clearview Golf Course, and that's on brand what I do. And that would have been like, I wouldn't have had that content. And now I have it.
Now you have it.
And that's a game changer. So guess what? Welcome to Long Island Game Changers, where I get to hang out with my friends who are changing the game. We tell stories, we learn about their background, we learn about what they're up to. You're doing cool things. When we first met, you did such a favor, like a service for us, because we were very close to the Long Island Imagine Awards. And you were like, you know what? I want to shoot, I want to do the content, I want to do this to help out the Imagine Awards. Your dad happened to be a guest of mine that night, so it just kind of goes full circle. And then after that, we did a couple things. We went out and we did the movie premiere.
That was so cool.
Right, we did movie premiere for Warrior.
So fun.
The movie Warrior for Warrior Ranch Foundation. That was awesome. I was the MC there. And even that, getting me out there with my chops, getting a lot of stuff going on. And then we go out and we do I Try together.
Oh my gosh,
and
that
we
was
kind of, you know, we're like a package deal, you and me, right? I love that. I love it. I was going to say Bonnie and Clyde, but we don't rob banks and stuff like that.
Well, in terms of production and bringing the magic to the nonprofit world, you know, we really
we're going to do some cool stuff.
Take things to the next level.
Yeah, you guys do. So let's go back. I mean, your stuff is so cool, and I love watching it. And there's a lot to talk about. There's the design. We're going to talk a little bit of Fearless Founders, because I jumped on one of those calls, like from the street. I got on my cell phone because I couldn't make it back to the house in time. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about your background. I just said right before we started, you're a therapist.
Yeah, that's my roots.
Tell me about that.
So I'm gonna back up even before I became a therapist. Let's just like back it on up. So even since I was a little girl, I always had a camera.
You did.
In my hand. Always. Always. In elementary school and middle school, I would make these mini movies with my best friends. I mean, I can't even imagine. I really should dig them up.
Are these girls you're still friends with today?
We've grown a little far apart just because as time goes on, but I've always been a creative. I have always been an artist, and fast forward to high school, I'm also a big music lover.
Yeah.
My first concert.
Best question ever. First concert, who was it?
So technically it was Led Zeppelin because I was in my mother's womb. But when I was out of the womb, it was the Monkees at Westbury Music Fair.
Stop it.
Yeah, so I've always been.
Are both your parents into music? I mean, if you were at a Zeppelin show.
I mean, both of them were, but my dad, like, hardcore like music guy.
Like what? Give me like classic rock.
Like classic rock, like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, the Beatles, just like.
One of the pictures I see of you got like a Stones t-shirt on and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm a rock and roll girl.
You are.
I was definitely born in the wrong era.
I hear that. I hear that.
For sure.
Yeah,
like any Woodstock music, I love. And
what about the Doors?
Of course.
I mean, I see you with leather pants so much.
Yeah,
Jim Morrison's our guy. So,
yes. I love the Doors too.
Yeah.
But in high school, some of my best friends were in bands.
Oh, okay.
So.
And
really,
you got the camera.
Yeah, so like when digital cameras kind of came on the scene, I was using that all of the time, and I would even try and sneak backstage at some music festivals and grab like content of bands that I loved. And I actually got some pretty decent footage of bands that are now pretty big. Like I have an awesome picture of Aerosmith, some like pictures and videos of Paramore, who is now huge and has won Grammys before. Like it's just, it's so cool. So believe it or not, when I first went to college, I was a fine arts major. I wanted to be a photo.
All right, makes sense.
Photo person.
That was what you were digging. You were into
But then I was like, I'm probably not going to make money doing that. So what if I taught photography? So I could like be in a school, get the good benefits, have off in the summer.
Yeah.
But then I had to do my observation hours at my old high school, and I was like counseling the kids more than I was helping them do.
What do you mean observation? That was based on?
So when you're an education major or an art education major, you have to do observation hours, meaning you kind of like act as like an unpaid
So it's like student
intern.
teaching, or
kind of. So I was able to link up with my old photography teacher from high school because she was awesome. I loved her. But then I noticed like I was counseling the kids more. Like they were telling me about, oh my gosh, this one broke my heart.
Do you think it's because you were younger and closer to their age, and maybe they felt connected with you?
That, and I was always that person in my friend group that was like the natural helper. Like when stuff was going down, even when I was a little girl.
Yeah. For whatever reason, you just
gravitated towards me. So I think it was a combination of all those things, and I had to take a social work elective on a whim because I was like short a credit or two. And I'm like, oh, this seems easy. Social work is like.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to CW Post for my undergrad and Adelphi for my master's.
Got it.
But social work is as if psychology and sociology had a baby.
Yeah.
And I like both of those things.
Okay.
So I'm like, let me try it. Fell in love with it.
Really?
I ditched the fine arts major and I became a social worker.
So you got your MSW. And so not to fast forward, but like then what? Where do you go?
Then I got an internship at an outpatient mental health clinic in one of the most challenging parts of Long Island. So here I was, this little, bright-eyed girl ready to go, being thrown into the fire.
Here it is, kid. Let's go.
To say less. And it was like sink or swim. Like you're either going to figure this out or you're not, and you're going to drown and want to cry and never come back. Like that's the type of situation I was in.
That was tough, yeah. And people with severe needs, severe challenges.
Oh yeah, homeless, severe mental health disorders, substance use disorders, violent offenders as well. Court mandated. So right out the jump, I was kind of thrown into the fire. I got my thick skin very, very quickly. I worked my way up to becoming clinical supervisor there. And then I kind of stayed in the mental health field. I played a little bit in medical social work for a little bit too. But yeah, so I was a clinical therapist for about 10 years.
Again, like I say, who knew you knew, but it's funny just how things go. Like, and I'm so big in the mental health space. I mean, something we got coming up where you're going to collab with me at Options for Community Living, where I'm the honoree at the Mafia Marriage Murder Mystery.
So fun.
Death of a Gangster. Very fun. Hopefully I'm not the gangster that gets killed. but I can act like a dead guy. I just don't want to be one. Just not yet. So you're going to be there, and options serving mental health community. It's like so it's going to be so on brand. I didn't even know obviously all that stuff you just told me. So it's even cooler.
So I was a therapist for quite a while. Then I became a mom.
Yep.
And I was like, I want to be home with my kiddo.
Yeah.
And during the time when I was pregnant too, I had a really big spiritual awakening in my life, and I felt really called to do more spiritual mentorship with people.
Awesome.
So I had this therapy background, which was cool.
Yeah.
But I had this whole other spiritual aspect that I wanted to bring into like coaching people. So when I first became an entrepreneur, that's where my tagline Moonful Mama came from.
That's what that is, okay.
Because I used to do these women's circles, which were called moon circles.
Okay.
And so I did that for a couple of years. But while I was still being the spiritual mentor to people.
And that was like, when you say being that was a business? Like,
yeah.
It wasn't just like, hey, let me help you out, man.
No, it was a legit business operation. The business entity still exists. But during that time, I was always coaching people on how to grow a business, on how to be aligned with their soul purpose. Even my old like social work supervisors, they were like, I don't feel fulfilled here. And so there was always this other thing brewing on the side. And when I found so much success with Moonful Mama, like being featured on News 12, on CBS, like I really made quite a name for myself here on the island. Everyone was like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you doing
like,
this?
What are you doing as a business person? Like,
yes.
Okay. It's so interesting because we've had conversations, you and I, where you've kind of, I don't want to say called me out, but like reminded me of things, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I could see that coaching piece in that, you know, like just as we talk about like things we're going to do and how much can we actually do, meaning how much can we give and not be business professionals in these things. And, you know, I think we all need relationships and mentors and reminders and stuff, but I've noticed that in dialogues we've had. And I can see the coaching piece in that.
You need to have expanders in your life that are going to push you to that next level. And I'm not like the Wizard of Oz. I pull the curtain back all the time. You want to know how I'm doing it? I'm going to show you my blueprint, how I'm doing it. I want to see you thrive and be successful too.
Sure, that's how you win, right?
Yes, and so over time, that's how Grit and Grace was born.
Got it. When does it go from Moonful Mama to, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother business here?
When I realized I didn't want it to be just me anymore.
Okay.
You know, I wanted
leverage. Right?
I wanted a team so I could serve more people better.
I love that.
So I was like, yeah, I mean, I might want to hire people that aren't into like the spiritual
like, hey,
or mama. Like my
right.
team, I want to have men on my team. I want other people. So
they might not be, some people don't vibe on that frequency. I do, but some people like that's not their world.
I wanted to be able to cast a wider net.
100%, cool.
So Grit and Grace was born out of that place, but we wanted to be a creative branding studio that is really connected to impact-driven people.
Let me stop you there. I love impact-driven, social businesses, socially conscious, B Corps, all that. Here's what I got to go to, because if not, I sit here and ask myself for 5 minutes. So let me just ask you. Why Grit and Grace?
Great question. So Grit and Grace, I mean, I'm a sucker for double alliteration.
I love it. I told you about that.
Any business I ever did.
Mafia, marriage, murder, mystery.
I'm a sucker for it.
I got a show called Philanthropy and Focus, and I had to change the spelling of a word to make it
work.
And people are like, it's still alliteration. I go, I don't think it is, because so PHs, man. So you dig that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for double alliteration. There's like a psychology behind it that I really resonate with, and I really, when I felt the calling and tugs on my heart to make a pivot, I'll never forget, I was like at my kitchen sink, just like cleaning up my little ones' like snack dishes for the day. And I was like, God, if I'm to do this, I need you to like plant the seed of a name. And literally that moment, I was like, what are things that I say all the time to my people? Like, what keeps them going?
Sure.
And I'm like, they have to have grit, but they got to have a little bit of grace too.
What does grit mean to you?
So
why is that important?
Grit means resilience. It means tenacity. It means just forging through your path, no matter what hell comes across your path, so you can get to where you're meant to go to serve people. So grit is that that drive that pushes you through even when you want to burn out.
Got it.
Even when you're tapped out.
Yeah, just go. You push. You go.
You push.
Go. Right.
And it's like this idea that your discipline has to be bigger than your motivation.
Well, that's the thing too. I was listening to Jim Rohn this morning, right?
Yeah.
Classics, one of the classics, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like, you know, the successful people aren't successful because they're motivated all the time. They just don't care when they're not motivated. They just push through. Like they just might want to be just as like lazy as somebody else and not get out of bed and not do stuff. But they don't. They actually get up and do the action. And that's what separates people. So that's grit. I think it was Carol Dweck had the book about grit, right?
Yeah.
And that's a classic.
It's a really good word.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
For the entrepreneurship journey. And listen, being an entrepreneur and trying to be a small to medi-sized business, it is not easy. And if you don't have grit in your toolbox, yeah, good luck. You're gonna burn out.
Well, it's not gonna last very long. I mean, because all we do is we knock our heads up against things and go, oh, you know, well, every one of those little things every day could stop you.
Yeah.
And if you don't have grit, you're not gonna make it past Monday.
No, you're not. You're not. And then grace.
You want to polish it a a little bit with some grace?
Yeah, you know, you got to balance it. It's not all masculine, hard energy. It's also, you know, receiving. It's also making space for mistakes. And
I think we have to give ourselves grace, right? That's what I see when I read into it with the name of your company. It's like, because I think I don't always do that. And I have to remind myself, because I don't give myself I've gotten, you know what I've gotten better with is receiving gratitude from other people. And I remind myself all the time, because I used to think all this really cool stuff I do, right? Like people from the outside must think I think I'm so full of myself, right? But like I used to think all this cool stuff I do is like, yeah, I just do it. But no, it's actually a really big deal, right? So what I've gotten better at, I'll talk about a GR word, is that gratitude going, you know what, when somebody says, Tommy D, what you're doing is great, we really appreciate this. I go, thank you for saying that, thanks for acknowledging that. Because I used to just blow it off. And it was like, yeah, it's what no, this is like real. Yeah, so I'm able to receive. And I think that gives that, certainly, that other person who's trying to give you flowers, like makes them feel good, so they're being heard on what they're doing, right? Yeah, and I feel like, you know, we're meant to add grace in this world. We're meant to add positive energy, you know, into the planet, whether, you know, you're flipping a cheeseburger in your small business restaurant, or you're coaching somebody, or you're selling a really cool band t-shirt, I mean, whatever it is. You know, I think you're meant to add a little bit of grace along your way, too. That is such a great, I'm glad I asked that question. Good job, Tommy D. and we were going to socially conscious businesses. So we know who you are, we know what you're about. Why those businesses? I mean, it's kind of makes sense, but. Yeah,
because we really try to align with people and businesses that are legacy driven. That they want to leave a positive echo, and that's how we feel, and that's how we feel connected to.
So energetically, that's who you are. So we got to be with people who are like that.
Right.
No offense to anybody else, but if you're just not vibing with what we're doing, it doesn't make sense.
And it's not to yuck someone else's yum.
No way, 100%.
It's just that's like our sweet spot on the tennis racket, so to speak, that we know when we feel really connected to a brand's story, their values, their legacy that they want to leave, it really fuels our team's fire. That, oh, what we're doing isn't just like vain and superficial. What they're doing can have this huge ripple effect amongst communities and even worldwide, which we've seen, which is so cool.
What are, can you speak, even if you can't speak about specific brands, can you tell me just like the line, the product line or the service line, that some of the winners that you've worked with?
Yeah, I mean, we work with, just small businesses that are making maybe 50 grand a year to multi-million-dollar companies. I mean, our agency pipeline is quite varied in terms of the types of clients that we serve. And again, it's because we're connected to their why. It's not just a certain niche or
Right.
You know?
Yeah, so it goes back to that energy and an understanding of that you can relate to them, not so much what the product or service is, but does it fit?
Like some of our most successful clientele, they sell jewelry. They sell food. They, you know, it's like it's so varied, but they're so in tune with their brand story and their why, and it's so inspiring to work with these people. So inspiring.
It's cool, and I think that probably draws a lot to the nonprofit sector too, because
totally.
Right, you know, I mean,
I love working with nonprofits.
100%, it's the coolest, man. It's like,
it is.
And I kind of get like up on my soapbox sometimes when I'm doing philanthropy and focus, and like even this morning I was talking about like, you know, there's companies out there in this world, and I don't want to say negative things about other companies, but like that really I think don't add any value to the world, right? It's already financial services, everybody, but you know,
it happens.
It's just a thing. Like I don't know what that is in the world versus organizations that I spend time with. I mean, you know, I interviewed folks from the Nicholas Center, which is all about vocational work for people on the autism spectrum.
So
they
amazing.
have the chocolate labs. I'm going to go out there. Maybe we'll go together because I want to shoot a bunch of content.
Yeah.
They have the chocolate labs. They have the candle labs. My friend Christine Fitzpatrick, who's sat here with us in the studio and done the show from the League of Yes, she makes candles with these adults. You know,
and they smell amazing, by the way.
Unbelievable.
I saw her at the HIA event that I filmed.
Yes, you did the whole HIA event, right?
I did.
And then you did the food. What was the food? Famous Food.
Famous Food Festival.
I keep seeing like your team. You guys, I keep seeing you. You did really cool like shorts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so those type of events. Let's spin right to there.
Yeah.
Is
Huge.
that like, yeah, tell me about that, because that's like those are big. The HIA, I mean, was Grit and Grace the media? Okay, first of all, that's huge. So what was the connect there? Was that networking, relationship, or?
Yeah, honestly, the HIA, so I've been on their email list for quite some time, and I know they have their huge trade show every year.
I just played in the golf outing on Monday.
That's great. Yeah, they're fantastic. I love the team over there. So honestly, it was a cold pitch. I was on their email list, and I reached out directly to their to Anthony, which is one of their like head directors. Yep. And I said, hey, so you know, this is who I am. Here's my portfolio. You know, I think I could bring a lot of value here and bring a fresh spin in terms of content. I'll also have my media correspondent Alex with me. We're young, we're fun. Like I promise you won't regret having us. And I jumped on a call with him the next day, and he was like, okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Were you replacing an incumbent, or they didn't have something like that at all?
No, they didn't have anything.
Yeah.
So, and I said to him, I'm like, let this be a little test, you know, so you could see what I can bring to the table, because they do a lot of events,
sure
as
they
you
do.
know, which are so great and so valuable. And I said, hey, give me a chance, you know, let me show you what I got.
Yeah, I love that.
And kind of the same thing happened with Famous Food as well. But it was last year.
Okay.
I reached out to them and I said, hey, I'm local to Deer Park. I go to your food festival every year. It's amazing what you guys put on. If you need someone, look no further. I would love to add value. They saved my information for a whole year.
And they came back to you.
And they came back to me.
I love that.
And it was so successful. We're already planning for October's event.
Oh, so they do these more than once a year?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
June and October.
So we got to get my boy Eddie Sosa hooked up over there.
I know. I told him.
Good.
I told him.
Because he's really starting to do some content stuff. I'm excited. I got to get him in the studio. I'm fired about what he's doing.
He's great. He's very inspirational when it comes to food and cuisine.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Like no matter what it is that you do, if you're connected to your brand story and your why, it's so inspiring. People want to hear about that stuff all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So what are you thinking as far as like, let's go this way. Content is so important, right? And you do this cute, I'll call it cute, fun thing, you know, Watch Me Work Wednesdays.
It's catching on, man.
I love it. I totally ripped it off.
People are binging.
I totally ripped it off.
You know what's so funny? I will be pretty much at a networking event. I will be anywhere filming just B-roll footage of me, like talking to the camera or filming other people doing stuff. And there are people that I don't even know. They'll come up to me and they'll be like, are you filming a Watch Me Work Wednesday? I'm like, how do you know this?
How fun is that?
It's so fun.
But that's what it is. And that's funny how we like don't realize the reach we have.
It sticks.
Like I'm out last night and actually I'm out at the Refuge, and you know the Refuge in Melville? So Thursday night apparently is ladies' night, and that's not why it's as interesting for me. It's interesting for me. There's a reggae band there, so I was digging it. Next time we'll have to go hang out there. But the Association of Fundraising Professionals Long Island was AFPLI was there, so they asked me to come through. I come through, hang out, and I was just totally digging the reggae vibe, and that's kind of my scene.
Yeah.
And I was just like, there's so many opportunities to just meet with people, and this woman goes like this. I don't know her, I hadn't met her. She goes, oh, I watched the show. And I go, oh my God, no kidding. And I'm like, I know people watch the show because the statistics show Philanthropy in Focus, like 20,000 people somewhere around the world find this show every month. So I know people are watching it, but still for somebody, it's still like, oh, no kidding?
Funny.
Oh my God, that's so fun. And I was at an event like with my friends from that whole fundraising world, and like I show up and they're like, oh my God, thank you for being here. I'm like, what do you mean? Like I have a ticket. I was a and they're like, no, we really appreciate it. I'm like, who do you think I am? Like I'm just Tommy D, man. But I guess like I am. I don't want to say I'm a big deal. I always joke. I say I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah, but it's also
but it's like reached
right. It's the brand that we step out there with. But it sticks. That's why. You know, consistency is everything.
Yes.
You know, and that's why I tell you and I ingrain in everybody, everything is content.
Everything's content. I can't even we started this way, and I'm going to tell you again. So we just did this week.
It's like the red pill.
Listen, Vanguard Benefits Hall of Fame Award. This week we inducted 4 Hall of Famers. Why don't I just shout them out? Sunrise Credit Services, Rise Life Services, Cerebral Palsy in Nassau County, and ECM Medical Management, right? 4 Hall of Fame employers who are doing the right thing for their people. I have 2 cell phones, okay? One, I'm taking pictures, plus we had the film crew there from Spirit of Huntington, plus my other phone is on a tripod. And I'm like, I pick up all of this.
Angles.
Dude, I have so much stuff, and I'm telling my business partner, Ed, this morning, I'm like, you don't understand how much content we have. And that's because listening to you, and even that thing I came on for Fearless Founders a couple of weeks ago, and it was just like B-roll, 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 BTS, behind the scenes. Like I'm just learning all these things that I don't want to look back and say there's a lot of stuff I didn't get in the past. Who cares?
Sure.
Starting yesterday, going to tomorrow, I just get everything. And it's so fun.
It's so fun, and you should have an endless bucket and an endless bank of content.
I don't have enough time to put all the forget even editing. I don't have the time to post the amount of stuff I go and do.
But that's a great problem.
It is a good problem to have, and that's what I learned from you guys too. You and some of your colleagues on one of those calls. We'll talk Fearless Founders in a second because we're almost out of time. So, but I was on one of those calls, and you guys said, like, I used to get in my own head, and I always get there because I spend time there. But I try to get out as much as I can. But the thing is, like, I have content from a month ago that never got posted. Who cares?
Who cares?
Post it. It's still good stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I used to go like, oh, I didn't post the stuff from last night. Well, okay, it didn't expire. Let's go, right?
Exactly.
So talk about that real quick because that's important for people
and also done is better than perfect.
Yes.
Done is better than perfect. And yeah, there's nothing, if you're shooting content that doesn't need to be time sensitive, like if there was a promotional window or something, then you're going to have to get certain things out in a certain amount of time. But a lot of the stuff that you shoot should be evergreen in nature, that you could not just post it once, give it a little bit of time,
and come back with
it again.
Sure, why not?
And
especially if it's educational stuff and it's valuable.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's good. People need to hear that.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I really believe in content stacking. So, for example, this conversation here, we're still showing up for, you know, a 30-minute episode or so. But we're going to drip this out
100%.
for a long time.
Little clips, we're going to play around with it.
Right. So it's all about stacking what you already captured and using it and pushing it as far as you can.
We're out of time, but I got one last thing I want to say. So it's not even just, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I take the short to pitch the big show, but it's not even that. The short unto itself is a piece of content that could just live on its own. It doesn't have to get me somewhere else. How do they get in touch with you if they want to learn more about Grit and Grace?
So everyone can find us at gritandgracedesignstudio.com. You can also find us on all the socials, which is at Grit and Grace DS.
I love it.
So that's where you can find us. Come say hi, give us a follow. Our DMs are always open. You can see some of our unhinged viral content that we put out all the time, but we try and educate too. So
give me 1 second, 2 seconds on Fearless Founders. What is that? So people know.
So Fearless Founders is a networking community that me and one of my closest friends, Jenna, started because we were looking for a place where entrepreneurs could go that is grounded in authenticity but also strategy. So without the drama, without the fluff, just an authentic, grounded community to help you get you from where you are to where you want to be.
Dude, thank you for being here, man. This was so cool. Shout out to Greg Ingino.
Everybody.
Shout out to Greg Ingino, her dad, my friend, and maybe her friend too. Anyway, the show is called Long Island Changemakers. Every single week I come to you and I bring you really cool people doing really cool things. Sometimes they're in the for-profit business, sometimes they're in the nonprofit sector, sometimes they do both. But I am bringing you people who are changing things, who are making change on Long Island. I am the one and only nonprofit sector connector. This has been another In Focus production. See you later. Bye.